Today's theme is, well, I have two themes today. One is torture. I was listening to NPR this morning, and they had a question and answer session where they were discussing whether or not torture should be taped. You know, filmed. This is my version of a tape right here. And this is the wise men over there. They're looking the wrong way with the tape recorder, because in fact they do tape occasionally, but they don't tape the whole thing. They only tape what they want anyway, which to me is kind of ridiculous. It proves nothing. The problem I have with torture, okay, with whipping the girl until she bleeds, is what if she doesn't have the answer and you're whipping her anyway, or him, and she bleeds to death while you're torturing her and she didn't have the answers? What do you say then? What if you're an 18-year-old Marine? What if you're an 18-year-old Army Ranger, as somebody we know was? What do you do then? What do you do with your conscience after you put someone to death over something that they may or may not have known? We just don't know. She's gone. She's dead. So next time you're told to torture somebody, and this time you say, well, I'm not gonna do the same thing, you know. I'm not gonna be as tough. In fact, I'm just gonna hang the guy upside down. And so you hang the guy upside down, and the guy dies. And he did have the information, and he gave it to you, but you can't thank him. He's dead. You're 18. You're on a plane on the way back to Omaha or Nebraska, and you just killed somebody for a small piece of information. That's what we want our 18-year-olds to learn how to do, how to torture people, when it's been proven, scientifically proven, that we don't need to torture, that we can get the information that we want without torture. So the discussion of whether or not we should tape our interrogations, our enhanced interrogation methods, is a ridiculous question, number one. Of course we should tape them. We should tape them all. Why this is an issue is because the Senate Intelligence Committee just found out that the CIA not only tapped their computers while they were investigating the CIA. This is the Intelligence Committee of the Senate investigating the CIA, was being tapped by the CIA while they were doing the investigation. Quite an investigation, don't you think? When the people that are investigating you can just pick apart what it is that you're researching, maybe change a few facts here and there, kind of like CIA Wikipedia, Cikipedia, I don't know how to say it. It's ridiculous. We're losing it. Okay? The government does not have privacy. We have privacy. Okay? The government should have complete transparency. I'm not going to remind you of all the movements that are supporting the Fourth Amendment. Okay? But there are many. I will remind you of a gentleman by the name of Ed Snowden, who gave up his freedom, who gave up his life to let us know that the government was illegally snooping on all of us. Our Fourth Amendment was erased. Jack Reed had a part in that. Okay? We have to get rid of these senators who will write laws and write rules into defense authorization acts that change the Constitution. From what I understand, at this moment, the executive branch can declare you a criminal without any evidence, without any lawyer being called for you, without your parents or your wife or your children being told where you are, and you can be whisked away to a black site, which, by the way, was illegal before they signed a law making it legal. Who signed that law? All of our legislators, almost bar none. We have to cut this out. Okay? This is more than a class war. We certainly have problems that are based on money, but our biggest problem is this question of privacy versus transparency. I'll say this one time, and then I'll call it a day. Transparency is what the government does. It becomes and remains and will always be transparent to us. We own the government. The government must respect our privacy. Okay? We have privacy. The question of transparency is not a question. The government belongs to us. What they do belongs to us. They own nothing. We are them. They are our government. It's not a question of should they have transparency, I'm repeating myself, or shouldn't they have transparency. It just goes up my rear a mile. Okay? It's simple. We own transparency. We expect transparency. We will get that transparency one way or another. I say we do it this year. This is 2014. Kick the bums out. That's right. Change it all. Dump them. Okay? This is Rhode Island. I'd like to take 1/100th of the power of the millionaires, of the senators, and I would like to turn it to the maintenance of the Constitution. I will maintain the first, second, third, fourth, fifth, I've said this many times, on into the future. We have amendments to come. My job is to make sure that we don't change the Constitution by legislation written in secret by senators like Jack Reed, who are paid by extremely wealthy people to do their bidding. It's time for us to change horses. My name is Robert Scott Perry. I'd like to be your senator. I'd like you to sign my name in on the early September Democratic primary. I've been a Democrat all my life. If that doesn't work, then in November we take whatever we can. Whatever party isn't a Rhode Island Democratic Party candidate, that's who we choose. Okay? The Rhode Island Democratic Party is poisoned. Okay? There are a few great new people. We'll figure out who they are between now and November. And then we'll take those people. But a lot of you guys, get ready. Because you're going to need a new job. The old General Assembly, the one that gave the one percenters, the corporate interests, a tax break while giving the rest of us the shaft, you got to go. The $75 million, we want it back. The Sakonnet River Bridge, you can have it. We don't want it. Talk to you guys soon. Real soon.